And we've got a knife to talk about. It's 154 cm blade steel. It's G10. It's by Shieldon Knives. It is a Matt Szymanski design, and it's called the Hierophant. And Hierophant, look it up if you want. I don't care. It's some kind of mystical gatekeeper, something in mythology, keeper of knowledge, or something like that. So, and Matt Szymanski has done designs for various, including Tucson Knives, and he's done a collaborative design, I think, with Tepe Designs, right? Um, like the Bronco, if you remember, you could look that up. But so this is not his first rodeo. Deep carry pocket clip on this. Backspacer looks almost like natural G10, doesn't it? I'm trying to, yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? So here it is. It's available now. I mean, they told me like I've had this for months. It's a prototype, and so it didn't come in a box or anything. And they said we don't have it in production yet, blah blah blah. And then at some point in time, and then I think it got delayed, and then they were thinking about making some changes and stuff, and so they kept holding me off on putting this on my channel. And now they go, oh, by the way, it's out. Where's your video? And nah, I didn't have it. 154 cm, like 3.4-inch blade, and we'll measure it up. Drop point, okay, and $73.99. I'll let you know down below. I'll give you a link directly to what all outlets where you can buy this knife. And I know that Shieldon Knives is carried by White Mountain Knives and whoever else I don't know. And I do have a discount code for White Mountain Knives, so there's that. 154 cm blade, 4.2, 4.3 ounces. Okay. And where does it say? It says Matt's name somewhere in here. And the designer, Matt Szymanski, finally got to that page here. There's a lot of pause and read to go, and they're talking about how they worked with Matt on this knife, etc., and how he's a pain in the butt. And, oh, they didn't say that. Okay. Just kidding. So, a budget type knife, obviously, and you can hold it. You can get your finger up here in this kind of front choil, because that's really a big old choil up in there, and it's really comfortable to hold it like this. Back here, yeah, I'm stretching to get number 4 on here, so I mean, it almost feels really natural to get up front on this blade. And by the way, of course, I've had this for months, and this is a prototype, so how realistic to what you're going to buy, I don't know. Ooh, well, this one's sharp, so well, that's all I can say about that. This one's very, very sharp. I don't know if they would really necessarily pay that much attention to doing that on a prototype, but there it is. And is it no? I guess it's centered up. Is it? Well, it's as centered as it's going to be if it's gonna be a little loose on the pivot, which it is. Okay, let's do that. And yes, that's much better. Okay, much better. So, dual thumb studs here. And let's take a quick little look at blade stock. I mean, it does look, well, no, I guess it's not that heavy. I thought it looked a little heavier than that, about 3 millimeter, right? 2.6. And they're probably calling it 3. I don't know, but that's what we're measuring. And overall 14 millimeter at 0.55 for thickness here. And then let me grab my tape, because it'll give you an idea of really how long, and then how long is the cutting edge on this. Yeah, 3.3-inch blade. Cutting length is not quite 3 1/4. It's 3 1/8. Maybe add another 16th onto that. So about 82 millimeters, but 85 millimeter blade length. Let's go 7 3/4 overall length and almost 20 centimeters. So, and what did they say? 4.2, 4.3 ounces, and they were in grams. So we're 120 grams. That's probably about right for the translation over into ounces. And we just jump past ounces again. I don't know. This scale keeps going. Okay, 4.24. So not quite 4.3 ounces, but 4.2. There it is, right there. So ambidextrous thumb studs, pretty slicey, looks like a flat grind drop point, and jimping up here on top. So yeah, it really feels like you can really climb up on this blade to do, picking labels off or just doing detailed, easy cutting stuff. And then for really getting up on things like this, because back here, I feel a little removed. I mean, because here to here, you got this area here where otherwise you can't put your finger unless you're going to do this, right? So it really feels to me like it was designed to do this. Otherwise, this would probably be more up and down, and they would have changed this bolster to where you could have your finger kind of up here, and that way you got all your fingers on here. But then the way it is, it's like it's either pushing you back or inviting you up. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I feel on this one. Although when I use a knife, there is no standard cutting grip for me. I mean, it just depends on the task. So I may be doing this. I might be doing this. I might be doing this. I could be doing a lot of different things. Maybe I'd be hanging back here, depending if I need to get out of the way of the material that I'm cutting through. It's just all depends on the cutting task. So, okay. Obviously, the ergos are pretty straightforward, so there's nothing difficult about that, and it's not, a bad situation there. Pocket clip, it's so close to the scale that I don't know that this little upturn is really that bothersome. And I think the situation here is, how is that going to hit you in your palm? It's hitting me in here, and it's kind of between fingers, so it's kind of in the fat zone. And so, no, it's definitely cushioned, shall we say, if we do that. And if we're here, then it's kind of it's right between my fingers in here. See what I'm saying? So, okay, then it's a miss again. But depending on your hand, it may be. And over time, if you're doing long cutting chores, then pocket clips tend to be bothersome after a while. But yeah, I don't see this being a huge deal. And it goes in the pocket okay. I only carried it a couple times because I wanted to not mess it up, drop it on the concrete or do something weird and then mess it all up before I got this video out. Now I'll just toss it around like trash, of course. Now that the video's done, I'm just kidding. I never treat my knives like that. Never, ever. So let us see about disassembly on this. And I believe that they are saying, and let's get the number 6 and the number 8 over here. But I believe that they have traditionally been using ceramic bearings, so they've been doing that. And what do you think, Matt? What do you got here? He's probably got number 8 on the body. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Who knows? Going forward at some point in time, maybe I'll be working with him on a design because he can actually design, and I don't know what I am, an enthusiast, I guess. So I'm always thinking about doing a project here or there, another project here or there, because like the LTK result is out, and I'm always thinking, where would I go from here? So we got these screws off. So let's pull this, and it comes right off, and no problem. And the lube is everywhere. I guess it's been there for a while because I didn't put it in there. So it stayed intact. Now, what do we got? Oh, nothing else. Okay. So we can kind of work this off a little bit. And we pulled one of the little pass-throughs here right there. So, yeah, we do have a natural G10 backspacer. And so we can just line these little doggies up just like this. Let's take a closer look here. Okay, so we got ceramic bearings, and however we want to knock them off. And then here comes the pivot. And of course, well, that's the idiot move, isn't it? I wonder if they got a captured pivot. I think you don't have to worry about that because you got this. Okay, so it's squared off to hold the Shield logo, okay, the Shieldon logo. And so now these are not, they're nested, but this is not, it's not cut out. It's not skeletonized. I was looking for that word, skeletonized. And okay, otherwise it looks pretty clean. Of course, once again, this is a prototype, so this is what it is, but there's not a lot of hardware involved here. It was the pocket clip, right? One screw here, the pivot, and then we took the pocket clip off, which we probably actually didn't need to do unless we wanted to separate the outer scale from the liner. But as far as just pulling it apart and cleaning the pivot area, I don't know that you really need to take that liner separate from this. So you could have just taken the one screw here, the one screw there, and come off with it. Because, yeah, there's no screw that comes in from here, which is really interesting since you have this in here. Very, very strange. Okay. See how that fits? But it's held down by this screw because this is the only body screw on here. That's odd. You would think there'd be an internal screw or something, but there's not. See? I mean, there's not one that passes through here. Okay. All right, we're back. We're back in black. And this one, I mean, I guess I forgot to mention a few things. Blade to handle length, yeah, that's plenty. It's plenty. And design flow is great. Like I said, natural G10 backspacer, deep carry pocket clip. Forget it if you're left-handed. No, there's no lefty for the pocket clip. But yeah, this just does feel so natural just to come right up in here and get this. I'd say the detent is pretty well where it needs to be. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it doesn't need to be any heavier, actually. And finger flickability, yeah, not a problem at all. So, it's got fidget factor to it as well. The bottom line, it just boils down to, doesn't it, to design. To me, it does. I mean, the materials and the fit and finish are fine. They're as good as whatever out there. But it's one of those things you got to decide, is this speak to me? And if it does, then yeah, there's no reason I wouldn't recommend that you at least give it a shot. And of course, it's not expensive enough to worry about. So it's not like it's a $500, Save Queen or anything like that. This is going to be a user carry for you. And it seems to be sharp, and the blade shape tends to be for piercing, slicing, a lot of different tasks. So I think it'll serve you pretty well. All right, I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you so much. We are Love Them Knives. So you guys stay sharp.